If you are fighting a bull, the bull will literally bend down and then kick you up. But then if you're fighting a bear, it will stand on its rear feet and then knock you down. So in the markets, generally things going up are described as bullish. And since we started the podcast, I think it has been pretty bullish.
Wait, let me give you some context.
The Bullish Banter Podcast is an audio-only podcast hosted by
Jesse
and
Rufus Kamau.
Today we cover a very interesting, or rather we are covering a very interesting topic. So initially I used to host Twitter Spaces, and when it was Twitter, before now Elon Musk did the thing and acquired it to X. So we thought we had a lot of conversations, and you think maybe we need to catalog this somewhere because you have some guests who are participants in the market and they say some valuable wisdom. So we said maybe we should start a podcast because whatever you record stays in the internet forever, and the knowledge, especially in the financial markets, tend to repeat itself. So why not?
It's not every day that you have a stock doing 248%. We chose the audio platform mainly because it's easy to listen to. And of course, we want the people to focus more on the content than the person. So there's these two guys behind the scenes, but dropping some fire content that is helpful in trading as well as investing.
People who are in finance probably, or traders generally, probably have a chart on their screen. So you do not want to narrow down your YouTube or rather your charts to a small view just to watch me. You prefer maybe you have your pods or your headphones, you're listening to it as you try to analyze the market. So if you're talking about gold or some bond market, you are just viewing the technicals and you're able to say, okay, that makes sense. Let me see if it actually will occur the same way.
So there are way different types of charting. There's histograms. There's bar charts, there's line charts, plot diagrams, and so on. I have quite a significant following on Twitter. So a majority of our listeners, since they are majorly our clients, are able to reach me directly on Twitter, and there we develop more engagements.
Of course, X is quite interactive because you're able to do short form text, and that way you're able to respond quite quickly on some of the emerging issues. And X is like a town hall. So you just find your corner with X. Let's say you're in the financial markets, you will find a community of other players who basically make sure that they share something interesting, you can respond to it. You share something interesting that you have found, maybe a good opportunity. Somebody comes and comments, gives his own views, and then there is spaces where you can join in, listen, and if somebody finds whatever you contributed to be valuable, they can interact with you. But of course, Instagram, TikTok, and all the other rest, even emails, still do work, and of course, phone calls.
Having this inflation being within target, it doesn't make any sense for the central bank to go for 200 basis points rate hike. A lot of jargon that is in Wall Street, London, a lot of people didn't understand it. So in Bullish Banter, we find a platform where we make it so simple that once you go through the podcast, you can actually convert these ideas into something that is valuable to you.
I haven't done this before, so I say so long as you keep it going, it's good. So it has been a learning curve. You do an episode, sometimes you are exhausted, you don't want to think, you're yawning a lot. So it has been a learning curve and also entertaining as well and edutaining. So
the favorite part for me is the responses I get from our listeners. So sometimes I'll interact with other traders out there on different platforms, and they will be like, I've listened to all episodes of the Bullish Banter podcast, and then I'll be really happy that they found value and they kept going to the next and the next episode. Sometimes I'll get questions about stuff that I presented in the Bullish Banter podcast. So people will be like, I heard the last episode you talked about this, can you explain more about this? And I feel like we are providing value to these clients because they keep on listening. So a majority of our listeners are repeat listeners. If you're in the investing space, if you're in a trading space, and you want to up your game a notch higher, then Bullish Banter is the podcast to go to.